Talking about building in and understanding shipping prices and shipping costs. You can be on any third-party platform. You can even be on your own standalone website. The question is, how much does it really cost for you to pay for shipping, and how much do you have to consider that ahead of time before you invest a bunch of money in the business? Because that's what this is all about. This is about knowing those pitfalls before you get there. Because a lot of people dump money in, they don't do accounting the right way, and they realize a year later they spent more money than they made. Pretty common in internet sales. So we're talking about shipping, which is a huge factor. And so there's a couple things we need to talk about first. And one of those is the rising shipping costs. Gas prices are going down, shipping costs are going up. Shipping costs are going up kind of like everything. Think of those things where you don't understand why it costs double to buy it in 2026. That's shipping. USPS, we used to ship a nothing package, weighs 2, 3 ounces, but it wasn't an envelope, it wasn't a letter. And so that started at around $1.80 to 2.20 just 5 or 6 years ago. Now you can't send anything for less than $5. That's double, which means if you spend 100,000 in shipping just, I don't know, 4 years ago, you now might spend 200,000 in shipping. And so you have to determine, is this going to get me? Because shipping costs are different for all kinds of different services and companies. So you've got UPS, FedEx, there's some DHL stuff, um, there's the big trucks. We do the palleted delivery. And I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about packages between 1 ounce and 20 pounds in normal size packaging. And you can use UPS or USPS in most cases, and that's what most people do. Um, and some of that depends on how you print the label, which could be another big problem you're going to have to deal with when you start this stuff up. But let's say you have a label system set up. Let's say you have an account with UPS and you use USPS. You'll probably use a third-party label generating company online, like Shipping Easy. You'll get a subscription for whatever it is. I think it's like $100 a month. I hope it's not that much. 20 to $100 a month, and you buy the labels through them at a discount, which really isn't much of a discount because if you buy those labels directly through the platforms, usually you're getting that same discount. It's kind of a scam. They kind of tell you a really high price and then you pay a discounted price, which is kind of what everyone's paying. So for a 3 ounce USPS, what used to be called first class, now it's called ground service first class, which is the dumbest thing they've ever done. Because now no one that's experienced can tell the difference between the two labels between UPS ground, which everyone's familiar with, and USPS ground service, which makes no sense. Part of the problem is the two companies are in league together. So USPS is owned by the government, but they ran out of money for a long time, running in the red for years. Now, with all these new fees and all these new charges and all these new rate increases, I don't know how much money they're making, but I know they're in league with UPS, which is a private company. So what happens is UPS will allow you to print labels through their service, and what's now called Ground Saver will actually go through USPS. And what that means is UPS picks it up, UPS puts it to their first center, that center sends it on to the zip code of the recipient. That zip code center is USPS, and then it'll be delivered by mailman. And so that's ground saver, which doesn't save you anything. And here's the trick with UPS, because I can't tell you everything about every shipping method right now in this short video, but the trick to UPS is watching for fees. So every time you put in a label, you'll see the base charge, a service charge, and then a fee. Yeah, it's bad. So let's say you're shipping a 2 pound package to a normal region, 2 regions away. You're in the middle of the country, they're halfway to the coast, so not too far away. Let's say it's 2 pounds. You're going to get a base rate of around $6.50 for Ground Saver. You're going to get a fee of about 50 cents. So that's $7. Here's the catch. Based on zip codes within that region that they feel like are harder to deliver to, they can put any fee on there they want. It's like a rural surcharge, except it's not called that anymore. It just says fee, at least for me. I haven't seen it called anything but fee in about a year. And here's what's funny. You can pay that $6.50 for the package, 50 cents for the regular fee, which is probably some kind of diesel fee. You could pay up to $15 in a rural surcharge. That's almost 3 times the cost of the original base price on the label. So what UPS is doing is saying, don't use us. That's what they're saying. They're also saying, don't use this service, use an express service. They're also sick of delivering packages for $10. Now, they will do that for a huge shipper like Amazon. So the problem is you're not just competing with Amazon prices, you're competing with Amazon's ability to pay for their shipping services, especially when they deliver themselves, which of course we know they started doing. So you've got a huge problem understanding how the shipping systems work, how they're going to cut into your bottom line, and how you can price each particular product. So I'm going to end the video on this. One of the things you have to think about, whichever site you're using, standalone, third party, even some kind of fulfillment system, whatever you're doing, you can think about having free shipping or some kind of pay shipping. Pay shippings come in two regular varieties. One is it's charged differently for different customers, and one it's just charged based on a dollar amount of the order, which encourages people to create a larger order for a lower shipping cost. It's been going on for decades. But a lot of times you just do free shipping. That's what they encourage you to do on the third party. I've always done free shipping because consumers have become incapable of understanding anything. Sizing, drop downs, systems, shipping times, shipping rates, shipping added to their order. They will buy something, get it, complain about ordering the right thing, complain about it coming too fast, complain about not understanding that they weren't getting free shipping from somebody who wasn't Amazon and they thought everything in the world was free shipping when it wasn't. These consumers are hard to deal with. So one way to fix one side of that problem is do free shipping, then they don't have a question. They know it's coming free. And then if they add multiple items to your order, you're going to then see the benefit. The problem is people now know that those prices are raised on individual products for shipping. So if you're doing free shipping and you're expecting to get multiple item orders, that could hurt you. That's another thing you really have to think about because you may get single item orders forever like I did. I would get maybe two. But in general, single item orders were 95% of the orders, and it's because it was free shipping. It's because it was more expensive. But when the third-party site would show the consumer the price to buy the one item with and without shipping, even with your added higher price building in some kind of shipping charge, which used to be $3 and now $6, when they show them that your price is still lower. But when you have 5 items in an order and they're still paying a flat rate, which might just be $10, when they have 5 items in there, priced at the bottom of what that item can be priced for, compared to you having to add that shipping charge to every single order. I hope that makes sense. That's getting a little more complex than we need to, but the message, the takeaway from this particular video is you need to be thinking about shipping as your big 4 or 5 things and your big obstacles and your big preparation for understanding how much money you're going to spend. And you've got to take into account the number one warning, which is shipping's been going up exponentially. Thanks for shopping.